Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of episode 1 of the Watchmen TV series. And I think the funny thing about me watching this episode is that, just like a couple of weeks ago, I watched the Watchmen film for the first time. So it was interesting to jump right from that film to this show. And I really like this episode. And I think it's very different from the film. And I don't think I'm going to compare it at all. Maybe when I'm done with the series, see which did I like the film better than the show? I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I think the concept of kind of masked vigilantes going after kind of a group of kind of like a terrorist organization. It is very interesting. I think. Well, again, like I said, it does feel very different from the Watchmen shows. I understand it's a sequel to the comic run of Watchmen, so that was interesting. Point to bring up. I think the performances in this film was great, and the ending of this episode was shocking. Seeing the police chief, hanging next to the guy in the wheelchair, who I definitely predict is the boy at the beginning of the episode. Which, by the way, the opening of this film is great, where you got the Tulsa bombings and whatever. That was all good and great, and it was really cool. And I think diving into the characters was also nice. Whether it be like our main character, or it be the police captain and police chief, and because I think they developed the bond between our main girl and the police captain, and as well as you see the police captain as a real person. I think you do get a sense of you cared for him. I think for me, I honestly did feel this sense of emotion when he got killed, but it made sense because it's like the way he kind of was portrayed in this first film was like he's like one of these like main characters. He was actually in the first episode a lot, and so when you see him hanging to his death, I'm like, it started to come into me. It's like, oh yeah, he was in a lot of the first episodes, so it makes sense that maybe he doesn't last, through the whole show. But I think it's a great first episode. I think they did the other stuff with Ozymandias or whatever, the guy who was the main villain in the Watchmen film. They had a little scene of an older version of him. I didn't know how that contributed to this first episode, but I have a feeling he'll play a bigger role later, throughout the season. And I think that's a great first episode. I think they hook you right in with, again, that great opening sequence where I think this sets up a lot of great stuff. But again, great pilot episode, and you got some great action, and I love the stuff where the guy in the kind of aluminum mask is interrogating the other guy and flickering the images, trying to get him to admit, and you do close ups on the eyes. I think the directing in this episode was great, and the writing was great, and I think they did do a great job at, again, like I said earlier in this review, developing the characters and get me to care about them. And I do worry for the main character's husband and their kids, because I think they really do a good job of just in a general sense developing all these characters' relationships. And I think while it's not a perfect first episode, because I think there is the stuff with Omadeus or whatever the guy's name, the guy, the main villain from the Watchmen film. They had like the scene of an older version of him and all that stuff. And what I thought was weird about it was I think they're setting stuff up for the later season, but I think in this episode it didn't really fit and it didn't really need to be there. You could have just tacked that on and as a scene from the first episode. So I don't know what having him in the film really contributed, or in the show, this first episode. I'm not talking about the show. I'm sure he'll have a bigger role throughout the rest of this series. It's just particularly this episode. It didn't really make sense why he needed to be in this episode, because I think the plot line that they were setting up in this episode particularly did not involve him. But other than that, great episode. Stay tuned for more videos coming right at you.